Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm back to have a little bit of time to spend in the garage and work on something. I keep dancing back and forth between which one I want to get a little bit further moved along with, and I think I'm gravitating towards the rat rod quad. One thing I think I might want to look into is the front brakes. I think the last thing we left off was just doing a bunch of wiring. The winch was set up. People talk about what to do with the winch cable. I just have a reusable Velcro tie wrap and tied it to the side. We'll figure keep that handle out of harm's way, and if we need it, we still have, you know, a couple feet around the machine to go and use that. But the brakes is where we are. Has rear brakes, got a rear brake pedal right there. It goes back to linkage, pulls on the rear brakes, and when it's in four-wheel drive, you get brakes all the way around. But when you're not in four-wheel drive, you don't. And you know, that's kind of taxing to try to run all of that on those rear brake shoes. So I'd like to get the front circuit, which I believe is the juice brakes, drum brakes, and it has a little master cylinder up inside here. And it does not feel like spring back. Watch, I already fixed them once before. They may be just fine. No. Sounds like maybe a mechanical something inside the wheel. I literally don't remember why we stopped screwing with that, why I stopped screwing with that, but it feels like it pumps up, don't it? It might not have any brake shoes inside there. So why don't we just start tearing apart, see what we do need, and get on the right path again. How's that for sketchy? Whatever works. Let the back wheel sit on the ground, let the lift up. Two straps are holding it to the table. So, but we got the tires up in the air. We can kind of get a better feel and see for what we got. Somebody commented on the last video that you have a CV joint boot ripped. Yeah, I got a lot of issues. It does. I know it clicks on one of the front ones. I actually think it's the other one that clicks. But again, this thing is built out of junk, so it's kind of, you know, they'll run till they fail, and then I'll try to look on eBay or wherever and try to find something else to replace them with. She's just a junk machine, you know. So is a 86 Suzuki quad runner, I think it was, and it was the year before. I think 87 the King Quad came out, so that's what it's made out of. But the King Quad kind of took a lot of the stuff from that bike and transferred it over. I'd say we go down and get the brake drum off, and we'll start looking into what is happening inside there, if anything, and give ourselves at least a shopping list to go by. So without further ado, let's get that off. That's out of our way, and I have those rims on backwards to get them to stick out further, and then there was washers on there because this has a lip on it that those rims don't fit. So let's, can we? Yeah. That's gonna be fun getting back on there. Got a key nut, and hopefully it'll allow us to get into the brake drum. One thing I like for removing cotter keys is actually just a pair of wire cutters. It allows you to kind of grab in one concentrated area without slipping off of them. I don't know if I use my best pair, but I like them. And then when it's time to, you know, pull it back out and it's all lumpy and bumpy and doesn't want to come out very well, I use the same wire cutters. I just try to hang them on the bottom, and now it's stuck. So I try to grab it close, choke up on it as much as possible, and that way you can drive it right out. So trying other more stressful. And you can get it without an impact gun. I don't think it should be all that tight. I don't know if it's impact. See if we buzz that guy off of there. I think it's just going to fall right off for us. Yeah, I didn't think so either. I'm not sure where that splits. I might go and take, let me see if I get a slide hammer or something set up for these two guys, and we'll give a couple of taps on, see if we can pull the drum off. See anything I don't? Should be on there all that hard though. Yeah, that was easy. Drum's off. I'm not sure what was holding it up. Whether it was the spline. It's got to be the spline. Everything on, I don't know. There's a bearing on the outside edge too, maybe. Well, the problem with no brakes is there's no brakes, no shoes. See if the master cylinder works. So, yeah, one side. Let's see if we can jam it up. I think that wheel cylinder is only working on one side. What I see. I'm gonna pop those brake shoes off, and I got a couple of boxes of just like leftover crap out back, and we'll see if just by chance we just so happen to have one of those. I don't give it any good percentage, but won't hurt to look. So we're back in the land of Horde. And we got a bunch of brake shoes up inside here. Let's go and see if anything looks like. Make some room. Those are going to be way too small. Again, I don't even remember where a lot of these came from. It'd be nice if I could possibly same size. Bust the brake material off and glue it back on those. I'm gonna keep looking. What do you think the chances are? In this old front end I stored away for it, that there might be some brake shoes in there. Huh? Maybe? And a wheel cylinder, actually. Let's go rip that thing out of there and bring it over to the garage. I got them next to each other and kind of eyeballing them. They are a little different. I could see, like this one's got 2 bolts holding the tie rod riser on, and this one's got 3. This is, again, this was cut out of a scrap machine. The upper control arm is just looking a little different. This one looks like it's got a wrap going around it. That one doesn't. But the brake drum, where's the brake drum? They look pretty similar. Are they the same height, or is that bigger? Does that look like it's a little larger or no? Alright, is that an optical illusion or not? Let's see what we're dealing with here. I don't know. Might be the same size. I think the parts one that I got was off of a king quad, which stood like an 87 or an 88, so that might explain the differences. But I say we go. I already got the puller set up. Get that guy apart, try to, and let's see what the insides look like. Well, it looks the same. Unfortunately, I would say there's not very much left of that brake shoe. It's looking pretty thin. So they're done too. It's worth a try, and especially if you only needed the one side. But I have a feeling we're going to need them all. So I think it's going to be a trip to eBay and see if I can kind of score a set of those or find a site that does have them. Yeah, the brake drum looks okay. I tried. I don't know about the wheel cylinder. Probably not. I'll get the shoes on order, and if I have to, I'll order wheel cylinders too. You know, though I thought it was a figment of my imagination, the brake shoes are, say we start them together there at the same place. Something like that. That's lined up, but we're that short. So those are not the right ones. Again, between a 250 and a 300, it looks like there is a 10% larger setup. Especially that brake drum's bigger too. Yeah, the profile doesn't match. So that guy wouldn't have worked anyway. Don't know until you try. Hoard did not pay off. Alright, so I went online and was able to track down and do some homework on what I have. I guess the LT, there was an LT 230, a 250, and a 300. And I think the King Quad, as far as what I looked up, did not start until 91. And this is an 87 quad runner. Again, the previous to the King Quad, but I don't know if they ran in conjunction or the name just switched over. I know it's not all that important, but I was able to look up and find, first I was looking for 86, and when I bumped it up to 87, then the brake shoes that were coming up looked like these funky ones, because these have like a weird bow tie notch in the center of them. So once I found them, I do believe I have the correct ones coming, but they're about a week away now. So that's the problem about tearing this stuff apart, and like, what do you do? Put it back together until that time comes. You leave it sit. So for now it's gonna sit, but the mail came today and the new switch came for it. That a guy, and guys were writing on, well, why don't you have a switch on it for the parasitic draw? I did have a switch on it for the parasitic draw, but the switch failed, so I had to wire it directly to the battery again. So essentially, when I'm not using the machine, you just come over and you switch the big main breaker off, and it shuts all the power off to the machine. Nothing can leave the battery. One thing I do see is it looks like a drain hole right there, and I wonder if the one that I put in there, maybe I faced it this direction instead of this direction and was able to fill up with water, because I would think they would be pretty weather tight. They're meant for, you know, outdoor use. Or maybe the one I have is just a total piece of crap, and maybe this one is or is not. Worst case, I think maybe I could pack that groove around with silicone to help try to seal it. But let's go look over at the other one and see what we got, and we'll compare the two of them and see if we come up with a conclusion. Maybe you can just wrap a bag or something around it. And with that mail delivery came the new used camera that we're going to try using, and this is a Canon 260 XS or XL or SX250 HS, and that has the benefit of a much better zoom setup on it. see where it is. Is that it? Yeah, it's got a much better zoom setup than the one we're using now. And it should be a lot quieter. So maybe the next video we'll go and play and try this guy. I think the clarity should be much better. This one works, but it's getting long in the tooth. This was donated to me by Cap 1023, I think his name is, his channel is, about a couple of years ago. And I've been using the crap out of them, but they are just getting a little too beat up. They've been dropped and crashed and cases squeezed back together and whatnot one too many times. So when you go to zoom, it makes some lovely noises. And it's very slow. So that's the main idea. So hopefully the camera will be able to get a little bit better images. Until then, we're going to keep moving with this camera. All right, so that's that. Let's go look into the switch and figure out what we want to do with that. Oh, and the camera that you're looking through right now is a 110 HS. Canon also. The other side tied down. Let's go. I would say that pretty much looks like the same as that. Let's remove it, put a black mark on top of it, and we'll see if we had it, that drain hole facing up or down, or what the failure was. Let's get that guy off of there. Right tool for the right job, right? Just knew that this wrench would fit. There we go. I put a Sharpie on the top of it. Alright, so that's the top. See that crimp in the same area? I don't know if I would call that a drain hole or not. Or it's just that where it's pinned over. You want to cut this one open and see what's inside it? Maybe we'll dissect it. What do you think? We might be able to go cut that off right around. Yeah, let's have some fun. What the hell? You're not doing anything. Good old hindsight's 2020. So, you could just take the brake trim off without taking the hub off. This one fell right off. After it came apart, just tap right out of there. That one, on the other hand, is still probably in there fairly good. But you just pop right out. No, it was still going to put up a fight. But I think we probably could have got that in a different capacity. Let's see, we crack it open. I think that's enough to let us inside. It's got another ring right there. I bet we are going to have to, maybe not, maybe take these two nuts off and the plate probably slides off. What do you think? Maybe. I started to unbolt these and the whole thing kind of came apart. So I would say it's probably two pads. What did I do with the knob? Still over on the four-wheeler. Yeah, I would say these two guys are supposed to spring in and out in contact with those two bolts and make her go. But it's already junk. Let's kill it the rest of the way to see what's inside. It was totally full of water. Alright, I'm gonna put it in the vise. Take my time. Get rid of that. What's this stuff got to do? I don't know why it didn't work. Come on out of there. It's got a keeper tab right there. There we go. Yeah, I say we got our money's worth out of that. So that's just a spring-loaded pad. And as you rotate it, it lines up with those two guys. And I think it runs up on a cam, yeah. Down here is 3 check balls. You can get those out. Yeah, so there's 3 check balls down there. As you rotate it with the switch, those balls rise and sink, which allow this guy to push up into the contacts and then away from the contacts, I believe. And those 2 contacts were the back of the bolts. I would say we got our money's worth out of that one. I'm not quite sure where the weather got in it. I would figure there has to be a seal on this side too, right? Want to hit it with a hammer? Let's hit it with a hammer. Actually, it's probably got a retaining ring on it. Yes, no, maybe. Maybe you got a better look at that. I hit it on wire wheel. I do not see any kind of retaining ring there. Let's go give her. I said, come out of there. It's locked into the top of that somehow. Or it's meant to go out the other direction, but I don't see how that is because it's welded to that. I'm not gonna fix it. Yeah, and that guy's on there. So, off, on. Now we got a main disconnect. Everything after the battery is now disconnected when it gets parked for a long period of time. And I'm not gonna bother putting any goober on it. I think I'll leave it alone. They're like 10 bucks delivered. They're not that expensive. We'll see how that holds out over the future. Well, now that I have an education how that comes off, I was able to bolt all that stuff back on there. And I'll leave the brake shoes off. They're not doing anything anyway. And we'll probably pop the brake drum back on and throw the wheel on, and it'll make this thing just as it was mobile. I never used the front brakes anyway. So until those shoes come in, we can go back and revisit this. So I'm probably going to put this chip away for a little bit, and we'll just continue on this project when the parts come in. Hey guys, and it's 4 or 5 days later from the first part of this video. The weather has decided to slow things down. I think it's up to 4. It was -4 last night, and garage is warming up. We're waiting on some parts for that. We're waiting on brake shoes. I thought it was going to be a few more days, even past that, but today brake shoes had decided to show up. So we can continue on with that project, and we will. But we'll do a little intermission in between. I went to the post office box and a bunch of stuff got mailed to me. So we'll go quickly through that and just kind of show who decided to send stuff my way. Before getting any further though, the next video I'm going to go do, I'm going to try a different camera. This is a Canon 260 SX260. This one has a much better zoom setup on it. We're going to go try this one. I bought it used. And it does have a little bit of issues on it. I do see a scratch on the screen and some other things, but we'll see how that goes. We'll try that guy out. That'll be on the next video, back on the Cushman. And here's some other stuff that got kind of sent to us. One of them is, we'll start from left to right, I guess. Check this thing out. Little mini me. How cool is that? Awesome. So that was from, I do not see a name. They're saying thanks for sending it. I do not see a name on anything. thank you, sir. Greatly appreciated. And that is cool. I'll put it on the dash or something on there. I don't know who sent this. Someone sent a aircraft hardware book. I believe it's anything you want that you can get for like an airplane. It's a bunch of, you know, higher end stuff, and it's gonna be my opinion. But possibly use that for future ordering. Thank you. I remember someone writing in the email saying something about that, but I don't recall quite who it was. I apologize ahead of time. And this was either Jim or John, I believe, mailed this. And again, I may have that wrong. There's no computer out here, and I don't have any information, so I'm doing this off the top of my head. He sent me a tripod, which is very nice of him, and I'll probably use that with that camera. We'll see how that goes. Thank you, sir. And John, I'll let you guys do the reading through if you'd like to of that. And he got a stash of HO scale stuff, and somebody I think sent to him was a bunch of single cabs for display, and he forwarded them to me, and those look really cool. The detail on them is really nice. Gotta beat one of them up a little bit though, make it look like Krusty. How cool are those? Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And said hi to Brian, so Brian will be over in a little while, and I will pass that along. And then some more from Ken, was it? Kevin. And when he was younger, he had a fastback that his buddy and him were putting together. He said the fastest 8th mile fastback, 8th mile car in school back then, after he did a bunch of hop ups to it. And it looks like some pictures of, hope that's not the actual car. Your roads are weird. And he forwarded a bunch of Matchbox. He's a Matchbox collector. Also, Hot Wheels rather, sorry. And sent these my way. Someday I'd like to do the opposite of that. I'd like to do a bus, but the long bus, you take 2 long sections and you weld them together. Yeah, someday. Someone mailed a magazine. I haven't opened this yet, but there's articles in here, I guess, on the VWs from Canada also. And so I will go in to read that. And I think he has a plug on the other side of that for collectibles. Prince of Wales collectibles. You guys can scan on that if you like. Thank you, sir. Bathroom reading material, we'll put that in there, and we'll go through that. And then this is, there wasn't a name attached to it, but there was the company, which is what you're going to see on here, is I believe it's Claxton Choice. Come on out. Yeah, Claxton. A couple of mugs, and these will go in the house right away. These will go a lot faster than this, and then a pound cake from the same company. And again, thank you, sir, very much. I appreciate that. This one I'm going to leave covered for a little while. This was Al. Al mailed some stuff from Canada also, and those are a continuation of stuff for the Cushman. And when I do the Cushman video, I'll reveal those, and we'll check those out. But I want to thank him again also. I want to thank all you guys for going through the effort of hooking me up for we're gonna go call this Christmas. Again, thank you. Let's get this kind of stored away and put away. We'll get the bench cleared off, and we will bring that back up and continue on. Thanks, guys. I had some machines back up on the lift, and took the drum off. I didn't take the hub off this time. We'll see if we can work around it. If I find that it's going to be a big pain in the ass, we will. But let's see if we can get these guys off of here and cleaned up. Or are we going to need those too? I know I should have looked earlier and ordered them, but I procrastinated. And I give up. Pump the brakes. We get one of them out. The other one will come out. There we go. A little piss fluid everywhere. There we go. I want to change all that out anyhow. Should be a spring in there. There's the spring, and we should be able to tap that one out. Oh, that guy's frozen. I don't know how these are going to come back. We do have that other one on that spare parts setup. I don't know. I think the problem we're going to have though is having a honing stone that's going to be able to fit inside there. That may not be an option, and we may have to just take some emery and maybe clean it up. Let me go grab the honing stone though and see if it will fit in there. Give you an eyeball of the inside. It's pretty cruddy. Yeah, I don't think so, but let's back off the adjuster. If I cut the stones off, it'll go. And we are going to work with probably a piece of emery or something. We're not going to work with that. I got some PV blaster. Let's use that for the cutting fluid. Cutting slash cleaning fluid. And let's go try some. I got some willow. I wonder if I got a drill bit in backwards on the drill. I wonder if we can get that to kind of, actually, you know what you can do? Maybe I can catch a little bit of it in the chuck. I'm trying to string it out long, and I'm trying to coat the sides of the drill bit. Like that. Let's go see if we can. What do you think? Yes, no, maybe? Get rid of that a little bit. Sucker stabbed me. Let's. Am I going to be going the right way? Yeah. Give that a little. Let's see. If we can get it in there. I think I got a little too much material there. Let's go break some of that off. It's kind of bunching up on us. Move you guys to the other side. Actually, you can probably stay there. Let me try getting it from here. What do you think? Feels good. I'm gonna go take a rag, we'll go clean that up, and I'll take these guys and wipe them down. I was thinking about hitting them on the wire wheel, but I don't want to damage that lip right there. That's the seal, you know. So I'll just clean them up by hand, and we'll take a look at that bore, we'll put that back together. Let's see how well this does on camera, but how's that look, huh? Actually, you did a really nice job. I'm surprised. I have to keep that one in the bag of tricks. Alright, so I got those two plungers cleaned up. These guys are cleaned up. I'm going to start reassembling. I'm going to take a wire brush, knock off a bunch of crap on the back end plate, and start getting the brakes reassembled. We'll get one side back together, and we'll see how they are as far as pumping up and getting a brake pedal. And then we can do it all again on the other side. I got to show this. I just got done cleaning it up. Got little self-adjusting brakes in the front. You would have expected to see a mechanical adjuster, but you know, this setup kind of goes in between the brake shoes. I don't know, something like that. There's another lever on here, but the wheel cylinder's up there. When the wheel cylinder pushes apart, it allows that guy to ratchet up and hold the distance between the two shoes. When that happens, there's more springs that are on there, but you can get the idea. It's got little ratchet teeth on it, and it just allows the brake shoes to go out so far, and this will take up the slack, and it just rolls back whatever that little distance, the last tooth that it can't make. And of course that was all bounded up and rusty, so it wasn't doing anything, but pretty cool. And so you get from that point to that point, and just it's even got a slide in here too to help take up the slack. This isn't just a round hole under here, it's got an oval to it. Just got done cleaning up the hub that this surface sits on. The original problem of not being able to get it apart. We'll take a wire wheel, see if we can get that one to clean up a little too. That should do it. Put a little bit of anti-seize on there. And I gotta clean up the brake shoe surface next. I'm gonna hit that with a little bit of sandpaper. You're not looking at the right thing. There you go. I just got the screw out of this. The master cylinder. That's looking nice and juicy, huh? I would say that is come back with a turkey baster. We'll suck out whatever's in there, blow that all out, and try pushing some fresh fluid through. I already took the bleeder off that one wheel there, one wheel cylinder, the one we're working on, and got that all cleaned up, so the bleeder's ready to go. But I don't want to push that crap through. We want to get some fresh stuff going through. I think we can get rid of whatever's happening there too, as far as old yogurt kind of growing. Alright, let's get that done. That looks a little bit better in there. I don't know if you guys can see the bleeder wrench down below too, but let's see if we can go. Bubbles is a good sign. That means fluid's going in there. So let's see if we can get that. You guys are touching the four wheel. Let's back you off a hair so that you're not shaking. I feel something happening. Let's see if I can get a little. I hear the automatic adjuster moving down there. That means it's seeing some pressure. Again, I got the brake drum off, so it's not going to work hard. I'm just trying to get some fluid. I got fluid coming out of it now. Good. Mud coming out of it. Let me say we top that off a little bit of fresh stuff. I don't want it to run out. Then you got to start all over again. Once you start sucking air from the top, kind of negates the purpose, doesn't it? Sometimes you could just hold your finger over the bleeder too. That's what we're going to try. I'm going to open that bleeder up a little bit more. Use my finger has like the check valve. So they have an open and close the bleeder. And I'm going to keep doing that so that fluid runs out clear instead of orange. We still got to do the other side yet too, but it's looking pretty good. When we run that almost down, and that might actually just suck there right there a little bit too. You can see that last one. All right, one too many. I still have to do the other side yet though. Yeah. You guys getting sick of watching this? Alright, we're pretty clear. Good enough for this side. Probably just going to set the little rubber boot on it so as the handlebars are flapping back and forth, they do not... Which way was it? I think it was like this. I could use a little bit more cleaning, couldn't it? Got that side pretty good. Like a couple of boogers on the wrong side of the... Yeah. I would think that that guy... Alright. We'll sit just like that. I can't get that screw out. I'm not going to bother drilling it. I think we'll be okay. I want to make sure it's going to be functioning, but I'm not going to be that concerned. I think I actually may even have a whole nother assembly out back. Making excuses why I don't want to do it now. See if I can capture that automatic adjuster. So here's the adjuster right now. Both brake shoes are in about as far as they can go, and then when I go to squeeze the handlebar brake and the fluid comes down here and pushes the two brake shoes apart, normally the brake drum will stop how far that will go, but you don't want it so that, that's the best way to explain it. Let's get you up in here a little bit more too. So you only have so much fluid to push. There's we'll give it a number. We'll say 1 ounce of brake fluid. So 1 ounce of brake fluid you have to work with between when you squeeze the lever, how much volume it pushes out. Well, that volume goes somewhere, and that volume goes to the wheel cylinder. Now, if the wheel cylinder just has to move just a little bit, those two cups that you saw in there, if that reservoir just has to move just a little bit to make these brake shoes move out and touch the drum, your lever will stop fairly quick. But if both front wheels were allowed to travel a great distance, your lever would go all the way. Just kind of like you think of your brake pedal in your car. If your rear wheel cylinders brakes were not adjusted right, your brake pedal would go lower and lower and lower to the floor. Kind of the same thing here. If this is not up to adjustment, where the brake shoes are only moving a little bit, the you're going to use all your fluid, all your 1 ounce of fluid, just trying to get the shoes to reach out and touch the brake drum every time. So what you want is you want the brake shoes to be almost touching the brake drums, and then the next time around when you go to hit the brakes, they just kind of move a little bit. So watch when I go and hit this, you'll see that this guy right here is going to ratchet and kind of maintain whatever that gap is. Watch it not work. See how it's ratcheting? And now what it's doing is, if you notice, this brake shoe is now further out than it was before. But that floats. You gotta understand that, you know, it's gonna neutralize itself between the circle of the brake drum. So I'm gonna reset that, put the brake drum back on. Actually, I'm not gonna undo the other side first, because I eyeball this side. But that's how that works. We gotta reset that. Just gonna pull that paw away from it. And a lot of them just have adjusters. There you go. A lot of them just have adjusters on the back of the backing plate that you would just, you know, manually adjust the brake shoes out to a certain location and go there. This one's automatic. So I figured I'd just show all that. All right, off to the other side. Hey, you think I was gonna go that easy, did you? So this guy is seized on that side, and it's seized on that side. I was able to tap this one in a little bit. Actually, both of them I was able to tap, and this one was tighter than this one. So I was kind of hoping, you know, that if I worked its path a little bit, even if I had to go tap it in, that it was able to come free, but it's just not having it. Built up pressure, got hydraulic pressure behind it, pushed into, so I got the brakes on and, you know, trying to push out while I'm trying to walk it. But other than putting heat on it, I don't know. So I think I'm just going to, for now, leave this one well enough alone. And, hold on a second. So, that's the width of that guy. We got that spare assembly, and I think that wheel cylinder is going to be the same. I don't know what kind of condition it's in. It doesn't look all that great either, but at least the boots are intact, so it may have stood a better chance of water not going in and around those. So I'm going to go strip that stuff off of there and see if this can be our sacrificial lamb. Alright, got those shoes off of there. Take your bets. What do you think? Think they're going to turn or not? I'm about 50-50. Actually, no, I'm going to give it a little bit better shot because, again, the boots are all intact. What do you think? Ah, alright. That side's good. Again, even if one side's good, because then you could, once you get one side out, you could, you know, like on the other one, you could just tap it out of there. And we were 50-50. One side went, one side didn't. Yeah, it's a little stiff. It's got to come apart and get worked, but that one's good too. Yeah, we're good. We have a spare. The hoard pays off. Again. Break time. We got a delivery. Which one do you want to go for? I think we'll go for a tree. That red one. Feels soft. They were just made. Good as new. Took that one apart and cleaned it all out like we did the other side. So that should be good to rock and roll. Getting ready to start swapping some of the brake parts over. I just noticed that the paw on that guy for the auto adjuster took a decent hit. Not quite sure what happened inside there. Possibly maybe when the brake shoe material broke off of the shoes, it probably just went around and jammed up some stuff. So we got a little bit of a hammer time to do on that one, but we'll fast forward and get all that back on there. Yeah, let's see if that guy will lead out for us and if we get a pedal, so to speak. Oh, nice. Probably go back to the other side one more time. I would say we have front brakes. And when it's a four-wheel drive, we have all the brakes. What am I going to do now? Probably going to go pop the wheels on. I'm going to work on that master cylinder. That's what we're going to do. We're going to give one last ditch effort, see if we can get that broken stud out of there. And get the wheels on this thing, and I should be about done with this project. Yeah. What do you think our chances are on that thing? I would have thought that the first time I had it apart, I would have tried it. You think like this, like that. Let's see. Yeah, not much to grab. Maybe like one shot at it, you know. I think it's gonna probably break off clean. Either the whole top is ready to break off or it's turning. I think it's gonna break right off. Might just leave that alone. What would you do? What would you guys try? I don't know if I want to put heat on it, because I don't want to kill the all the rubber pieces that are down below, and it's not like I could take those rubber pieces out. You could drill it, but I think we're going to clean it up. We're going to put the rubber bushing back on. We're going to screw the top back down. I'm going to look at it. If I see that that gap is sitting up, I may come back and drill it. But if it's pretty flush, I'm not going to be that concerned about it. I'm going to turkey baste that fluid out of there one more time. We've got some crap floating around in that I just knocked in from the rust. So I'll clean that out, blow it out with air, fill it back up, and try putting the cover on. Big noise. All right, back to operational use. Where are we? No redneck going on there. Tie wraps. Good. And guys, I think that's going to wrap it up. It's getting fairly late. We now have front brakes. How cool is that? A couple of things done. I forgot what we did on the first half of this video. I think it was the switch is on there, some other stuff. So this guy is ready to rock and roll and do its job again. It was originally built for just pretty much hauling wood, firewood. At the time we burned a bunch of firewood, not so much anymore. And yard work was its main principle. So now it's going to be a toy and yard work, and excuse to do yard work. And you know, not putting much money into it. It's just a beater. It's probably got $300 in it total, including buying the original machine. So it's a little budget build, but it's fun. You know, it's fun to do without spending a bunch of cash. You know. So on that note, guys, we're gonna go shut her down. I want to thank you all for kind of hanging out in the garage and getting some wrenching done. Plan on getting back on that. We're going to get into much more metal work with it, I think. And then we'll have some fun with that. And a different camera. And so we'll see how that plays out. And enough. I am babbling. And thank you guys so much. And I will see you on the next one. Later. Somebody's got a new snowblower for Christmas.